Hey guys, so FSpy is a fairly common utility. It used to be an add-on that you could use right in Blender, but now it's a standalone thing. I'll have a link below, but you can get it at fspy.io, and so it's a standalone application. But then you can also import that data into Blender, and that's what we're going to be doing a little bit of today. If you've already used it, a lot of people have. You can just ignore this, but yeah. So I'm just going to drag an image into here, and we're going to start trying to. Basically, this just lets you line up a camera with the geometry. It matches the focal length and the perspective and all of that, because otherwise it's just usually a guessing game in Blender of, changing the focal length, sliding stuff around, trying to get everything right, and even if you get it pretty close, a lot of times it's not perfect. And so in this case, I'm putting the red lines on one axis, and I'm putting the green lines on another. In this case, I'm using the vertical axis because, weirdly, it's hard to find good horizontal lines in this image. The linoleum cracks aren't quite distinctive enough, and I've got like some here, but they were right next to each other, and I think it helps if they're kind of separated. So I'm using these pillars like this, and like that, and now I'm just gonna say the green lines here are yeah. I think it helps if you have the z-axis going up, although you can always rotate it when you get into Blender. Just for fun, let's put a box in here and just slide it around and make sure the edges all kind of line up with various other edges, and it looks like this is gonna line up with basically everything. So I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna call it grocery store and pop into Blender, where, because I've already installed the add-on, just go import fspy and textures, grocery store, import, and there we go. It's all ready to go for reconstruction, and that just helps quite a bit. So if I'm doing something like this, a lot of times I try to set up the main space first, like the boundaries, because otherwise you can be like, you can have a cube here and you can have another cube way over here, scaled up, and it's hard to tell like where things are at. And so I like to kind of get the bounds in first. Unfortunately, this is blocking our view of the image, so I'm going to select the camera here and open up the camera properties and make this be on the front instead. So now we can actually see what's going on. So let's stick this in. And it's kind of hard to know, like, because we don't really ever get a good view of where the wall meets the floor. Like, maybe we'll go here, so it kind of matches that. Oh wait, does it keep going? Yeah, it keeps going. Although even there, that wall doesn't go all the way to the top. So, okay, here we go. There's a little piece that looks like wall right there. So I'll extrude this out to that. Then I can extrude the ceiling up until it meets right there. And now if I get this one out to this wall, and honestly, a lot of this isn't going to matter because we're really only going to be reconstructing this area. But let's see what we can do here. So that should effectively match the scale of this room. Okay. And maybe I'll just delete that for no particular reason. But now, if we make a cube, we can see where it intersects the ground right there. And so I can... Basically, I just want this to line up like that. And we start to just model based off of the image. Just a lot of extruding and all of that in here. Let me throw on. I'm just doing very standard things, extruding and rotating and all of that. But I could turn on the screencast keys. Boop boop. This might take a little minute, and this is where we get to decide how particular we want to be, because we could just make this entire aisle just be one long rectangle, or we could have each shelf be its own little ledge. And maybe that's probably overkill, but let's do it anyways. Okay. And so now we can, here, let's turn off this little gizmo. Now let's try snagging one of these, and I'm just gonna turn duplicate that and turn this edge into like a little box. And this isn't going to be the most accurate, but it will give us some stuff to put on the shelves. Right now I'm having hit the y-axis, and I actually like hitting x-axis for left and right, just because it's right next to, you know, where my hand is, as opposed to having to reach across the keyboard. So I'm going to rotate all of this 90 degrees. And now when I hit X, stuff goes left to right. It's just kind of more what I'm used to. So I'm just going to line these up here. And this is where you get to take as long as you want. We can cut corners, we can just... Oh! Whoa! Or we can get into kind of a bundle like this and just start... Because we're dealing with just lots of repeating shapes and stuff, we can cut corners, and our brains will just kind of be like, oh yeah, look at that, it's a bunch of different things on shelves. I'm going to hide this box so that I can just select all of this. And, well, why am I selecting this thing? Let's try sticking it down there. Maybe I'll shrink this down and scale it like that, just to fill it out a little bit. And then select all these. And maybe try to offset some of this. Okay, turn that back on, and let's fill in some of this other stuff here, like maybe this box right here. Boop. Okay, and before we get any further on, although here, let me finish filling this out just a little bit. Maybe bevel these just to kind of match whatever it looks like. Let's turn this into a space really quick. Actually, here, let me swap this around. Okay, so with this environment, or with this object selected, I'm going to make a new material and make the base color the image and just load in our grocery store. And now if I am in here, actually let's add some edge loops real quick. Yeah, and hit U, project from view. If we go into material view, we've got the start of our grocery store. You can see the this stuff with all the boxes works really good. The ceiling doesn't so much because, oh wait, or does it? Nope, it doesn't, because we just need to add more subdivisions. So if I select this right here and just right click, subdivide a couple times, and we go back in, look, it looks much better now. And so that's just one thing to kind of keep in mind. We still have our overlay here on the image, and so it's a little bit funky. But yeah, that's basically just what you do. You just keep going around, adding more details. And at any point, whoa, you can go back in and just hit A, U, project from view, and just reproject and see what it looks like with your new additions. Yeah, it's kind of coming along. Oh, it does help if you turn off or turn up roughness and all of that, and you also have options. You can make this a let's see if I go to rendered mode. If you have this be an emission shader, it's just going to have a value of 1, and so you're literally just displacing the image, which is kind of cool. But also, if you have it be, say, a diffuse shader, then you can... Where do I have a lamp? There's a lamp. You can relight it as you see fit, which can be good for adding a lot of depth and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's a thing to keep in mind. Usually I do a mix of glossy and diffuse. In fact, let me stick that together right now. This will be a glossy, and we'll mix these. We'll mix them based off of the brightness inverted, so that all the brighter things are a little bit more glossy, and the dark stuff will be. Turn the roughness down. Ooh. Maybe we'll plug the color into the roughness too, just to see what happens. It's a little interesting. Probably wanna refine it a little bit better. But yeah, I love stuff like this shelf. That shelf looks great. It's literally just that. This part right here, this Heineken display, is looking a little bit bad. So I might stick some stuff back there. Again, going down until it intersects the ground. Extruding up, yeah. Then reproject that, and oh yeah, that works better now. So what do you do about these areas here where the stretching is really bad? Well, you have options. Like, you could just make a whole new material like this and say, hey, you are beige, and assign it and be like, I don't know, I guess we could use the eyedropper tool and kind of try to match something like that and just hope that that works okay. Whoa, I guess we have a lot of stretching here too. Just means we need to model more of this stuff. But also, if you have a big enough chunk of like linoleum like this, you can just elevate it and just start to fill in with these duplicated pieces, because you've normalized the perspective. And that's actually working pretty good. So yeah, now you have that kind of reconstructed. Let's do another one down here. Cool. And like in this case, I'm only trying to make something that'll fit inside of a like a storefront. I'm just trying to make a detailed thing you might accidentally see, you know, inside of a window as you're by a store like this. Like, and you go, ooh, look at that. It's a nice store. So let me work on this a little bit more. And a little bit later, here we go. We got something looking kind of like this. And you can see I didn't go crazy. It's just kind of some copying and pasting. But if we render it, we've got we can now relight it if we want to, and it all responds pretty darn well. And if we want to, we could take like this aisle right here. Let's see. Can we just go to this view? Where is it? Yeah. And we can just stick it kind of back here. Maybe flip it the other way. And if we want, we can even like... Here, let's see. I'm going to select hide everything else. And I can just select some of these like boxes and just mix it up so it doesn't look too repeated. Let's grab some of this. Yeah, some of this Heineken. Uh-oh. Not that. And, yeah, and this way we can just keep the aisles from looking too duplicated. So that's another thing, too, is like we've got all of this nonsense kind of going on here. And you can figure out what you want to do with that. I mean, I would probably just delete it, and if I'm going to put anything there, I'll just recreate something. Or like this bit where it's tiling like crazy. Like, that's no good. So maybe we just delete these and put in like some of these panels if we want to. And you can also get kind of fun if you want, like this and this. We don't have anything beyond that on either side, so we can just kind of like stick them together like that maybe, and then we do the same thing with this guy. Oh. Stick that over there. And yeah, I'll fill that in. Ooh, and I don't like these weird ending caps. We didn't have any data for that, so let's see if we can just like find something to stick that on so it doesn't look so bad. Ideally, I would have done that before I did all my copying and pasting. Project from view, UV editor, and we'll just see. What if we just make them a solid color? Yeah, we'll just stick them all here. Come on. Wood. You're wood now. And, ooh, that looks not good. It's because of this slant here. We'll just shrink it down so it doesn't have that there. And there we go. It's still not great, but it's fine. We'll just try to set things up so you never really see it. But yeah. So let me grab that convenience store door we made like ages ago. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember this scene, but blow this up, stick this back here, try to match the scale somewhat. And I'm just using this to block the light real quick. I'm not actually trying to make like a scene right now. I'm not trying to make a scene, said some nightmare person I just made up. I do like the ceiling though. Here, I'll grab some of this good ceiling. Come on, let me select the camera. Why can't I select it? Sometimes that just happens and you've got to just not freak out. Oh, yes. This is it. What's that door? I'll delete that. And I want... Where's the light? Yeah. Let's give it some cool color temperature wise, not like awesome. Dude, this lighting is totally sick. No, that's not what we're talking about. Orange? Oh yeah, definitely a little bit cool. And it looks like it's just kind of like random emergency, or not even emergency lighting, just nighttime lighting. I can't select this camera and I don't know why. Maybe it's a clipping thing. I don't feel like I can see it. So yeah, okay, and that grocery store example was fairly complicated. So let's just try a simple one here. I'm gonna put the green ones on these axes here. One. Ideally, I try to avoid parallel lines. Like maybe it can work with parallel lines. I just feel like that would kind of throw it off. And let's throw the red ones kind of going back like this. And I think we can use this edge right here. And the Z is pointing like that. Let's just say maybe that's negative Y. Yeah, Z's pointing up. And if we turn on our 3D cube here, let's just try slipping around, seeing if it works. This seems to be, it's lining up pretty good here. So let's save this as the big blue building. It's not even a big building. Open the Blender. Okay. Import fspy the big blue building. And there we go. And look at that. Our cube just lines up. So let's just go into this view and start setting it all up. Look at that. That's so quick. I'm gonna go back into the camera view and make it project from the front so that we can more easily see kind of what's going on. Although now maybe, let's see, I'll turn it up a little bit. Yeah. Extrude that out. Does that seem to be lining up over there too? Yeah. Let's give it this, ooh, and right now it's going this way. For some reason I expect X to be the other way, so I'm gonna rotate it like this just so that my muscle memory has more to work with. Okay. And yeah, we'll do... I'm not going to go crazy with this door. I say, I don't know how crazy I'm going to get. It might get absolutely bonkers. We might be doing a full door. I hope not, though. Okay, let's do that one. Inset, extrude, inset, extrude. Feels about right. Inset, extrude, inset, extrude. Extrude. And we'll see how this goes here. Extrude. Cool. Maybe we'll add these little handles here. Cool. And actually, this is how long the building is in real life, but it looks a little funky, so I might just end it right here and just delete all of this stuff. Okay. And I guess, okay, we'll do the little cigarette bucket. All the way back here. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so let's call this one Blue Building and make it the image texture Big Blue Building. And you project from view. There we go. We got our building. If we want to, we can clean up stuff like this. I'm just gonna add an edge loop here, and I don't like the fact that it overlaps, so I'm gonna pull open the UV editor and straighten that out and just bring it like that. Same with this top view here. Let's see. Can we you project from view? I'm gonna give it this roof bit, which probably won't work perfectly, but ideally we won't even really see it anyways. Cool. And if we subdivide it a little, it gets a little bit straightened. In fact, if we want, let's see. Boop. 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 This is just this is one of the random buildings in my town down along the waterfront, and it's just so rare to find one of these nice kind of just primary colored painted buildings where they just go, hey, we got some blue paint, let's make the entire building blue. And they're always just so fun. This, we'll never see the top, but it bothers me that it just looks like that. Let's inset, extrude, you, project from view, stick it somewhere grungy. Yeah. It looks kind of flat because it's a little bit glossy, so if we just turn up the roughness, that already helps, but let's what's the best way to do this? Maybe we'll just, instead of using this UV map, because this UV map is skewed if you look at it, and so if we add, if I just use that same UV map for a like a roughness texture, it's going to be skewed in that same way, and we actually want it to be flat across everything. So I'm not going to use that UV texture. I'm going to use this type of setup here. Plug that generated, make it a box. Plug that into the roughness. I'm not explaining this very well. I'm sorry. I'm a little tired, but I've been meaning to post this for days. But yeah, if you have the Node Wrangler set up and you hit Control T, it gives you the texture coordinate and the mapping node. And the Node Wrangler is a very nice add-on, which hopefully you already have going on in some capacity. But if not, you can activate it really quick. Color ramp. Wow, I really am tired. Okay, that's kind of okay. I'll try dragging the color down into the normal vector bump. Plug that into the height, and we've got our. Ooh, we've got a lot of bump. That's good though. I'm gonna turn down the strength, and everybody goes, "Do the distance," and I go, "I won't do the distance." It sounds like a Rocky thing or something. Let's do blue building number 2. This will be for Windows. Assign, and we don't even need to use any of this. Here, let's get rid of the bump. Let's get rid of all this stuff and just mix it with a glossy shader. Boop. And so now it just is more like Windows. If we want, we could take like this piece right here, stick it out just a tiny bit, and kind of do what we were doing over with the it's hard to see with this selection thing going on, but we can try to do what we were doing with the grocery store and just like, there we go, just cover over that stretched bit. That's kind of nice. Do the same thing with this. Oh, bring back our blue building. That's not perfect. It's not good, but there we go. Render it. That's looking fine. Let's load in a environment texture. Still like this one. My bump is probably a little bit high here. If you use the Node Wrangler also, you can just go into the world material settings, select this and hit Control T, and then you can just rotate it on the Z-axis, so we can make the sun kind of shining in from over there. Cool. Can give it a nice big ground. Gonna make it an apartment building. Can I go into Eevee? Oh, Cycles was in CPU. That makes sense. There we go. It's an amazingly designed apartment building now. Turn off that. Let's see how this weirdness looks. Pretty bad in Eevee. Oh. And there we go. We've got our... That is not good, but it's a thing that can and has been done, and for that maybe we owe it something. No, we owe it nothing. This is just, Caitlin hates it when I get like this. She's like, Ian, you're not even saying anything. You're just running your mouth. And I go, yeah, that's true. So that's F-Spy. Goodbye. How do I get out of here? There we go. I'm gonna go to bed.